Mel Gibson once made a remark on camera that Hollywood never wanted people to hear. He claimed the industry followed one rule: women should be beautiful or both. He didn't whisper it privately. He said it openly during an interview years before most people were ready to listen seriously to him at the time.
Got full of the whole industry. I mean, it's a very strange place, Hollywood. But it's an odd place. And you imagine all these horror stories there that you think, boy, it seems as if I'm being sacrificed over here. No, that couldn't be true. And then you realize that it is.
Read that line again and let it actually sink in. That is no joke, nor is it an actor playing edgy for attention. That is a man exposing a rule he witnessed play out in real time. And that single sentence is only the beginning of what you are about to discover about the man Hollywood tried so hard to erase. Before you can grasp why Gibson was silenced, you have to understand who he was before any of this began. Here is the truth about most A-list stars. The system constructs them. Major studios handpick young, hungry talent, engineer their public image, and ensure they owe endless favors to powerful elites along the way. By the time these stars hit the top, they know precisely what they can say and what will get them destroyed. Gibson never went through that pipeline. He exploded out of Australia and became a global sensation almost overnight with Mad Max. No studio built him from scratch, and no executive could look him in the eye to claim credit for his fame. That detail is far more crucial than you think. It meant that when Gibson walked into the high-level rooms only industry elites access, he arrived without years of quiet conditioning telling him to keep his mouth shut.
And a certain line of attack, no matter how strong you are going to be affected by this place. It's going to divert you from where you were going.
Sure.
You're going to be diverted. When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, weird town, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them and they tell you don't go into the house.
So when you read it, it's a pretty convincing document. And you're right, nobody sued him for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary.
And every move he made lands completely differently. Look, I get it. A story like this can feel overwhelming at first. The idea of a world-famous actor claiming he witnessed dark secrets inside entertainment's most elite circles sounds like a movie script, not reality. But stay with me, because the moment you see what happened to Gibson right after he began speaking out, dismiss it as simple paranoia gets nearly impossible. Let's lock in on 2004, because this is where everything starts connecting. Gibson decided to make a film about the life of Jesus. On paper, it sounds straightforward. Instead, every single major studio slammed the door in his face. Fox passed. Disney passed. Universal passed. Nobody was willing to touch it.
An apology. That man was surrounded by demons and still walked away with his soul. Did you know when he made that movie Passion of the Christ, Disney, Warner Bros, Universal, and Fox, none of those big studios wanted it? And that movie angered them because it showed big studios weren't needed. I don't know if people really understand how controversial this film was when it first came out. It was more controversial than that Netflix film Cuties. Yeah. And before he even shot a single frame, the Anti-Defamation League criticized the script because of the accurate portrayal of what happened during the crucifixion of Jesus. Mel Gibson paid for the entire production himself, $45 million at the time, equivalent to $100 million today. He released Passion of the Christ on Ash Wednesday, made $83 million in its opening weekend, and $612 million worldwide. They all went against this man, and he still made millions.
Honestly, It didn't feel like normal movie criticism. It looked like a total coordinated effort to bury the project before regular people could even watch it and decide for themselves. So, what did Gibson do? He didn't sit around begging for permission or waiting for a studio to change its mind. He reached straight into his own pocket, pulled out $45 million of his own money, and financed the entire movie himself from start to finish.
It seemed like there was resistance to that movie.
Oh yeah, no, there was
Which I thought was very strange. There was like Hollywood resistance to that movie. Like people didn't like that you were making it. It seemed like.
Yeah, there was a lot of opposition to it, and I don't know. I think if you ever hit on that subject matter, you're gonna get people going because,
Of course,
it's big subject matter, and it's like And my contention is, when I was making it, it was like, you're making this film, and the idea was that we're all responsible for this, that his sacrifice was for all mankind, and that for all our ills and all the things in our fallen nature, it was a redemption. So, and I believe that, I actually am, I was born into a Catholic family. I'm very Christian in my beliefs, so I do actually believe this stuff to the full. So depicting that was an honor, but it was also, you got the daylights beat out of you for it.
Yeah, because there's resistance, first of all, from secular Hollywood, where for whatever reason, Christianity is the one religion that you're allowed to disparage.
And here's where it gets wild. The film went on to make over $600 million at the box office, without a single studio that had rejected him ever seeing 1 cent of that money. Stop and think about what that actually proved. It showed the entire industry that the people guarding Hollywood's front door weren't guarding anything special at all. An outsider with enough belief in what he was doing could walk straight past every single one of them and still win. That idea terrified the people running the system far more than any controversy ever could. Because if one person could do it, other people might start believing they could, too. And that's really the moment everything changes for Gibson. Before this, he was just an actor with strong opinions that made people uncomfortable. After this, he was proof that the entire gatekeeping system could be beaten. And
an alcoholic, right? I did drugs, I did alcohol, so, and there was nothing that could stop me from doing that. Nothing. So I was really kind of you're on a downhill run. So I regard the fact that I was able to appeal to something greater than myself to help me and actually stop me doing that. I think that's a miracle. It is. For me, it is. And for many, so.
Well, that is the thing about AA, right? It's a part of the whole process is appealing to a higher power.
Sure. It's a spiritual program.
Yeah.
Because you're suffering a spiritual malady,
Yeah.
So it's a spiritual.
he's also spoken with real honest regret about that entire period of
Win. And don't drink so much. My mother told me that too. She said, don't drink, son, it'll ruin your life. And I was like, what does she mean by that? When you're 20, you don't understand these things. So, I think I just would have been more patient, not rush into things. I'm really impulsive.
chapter. But here's the piece of the story that should actually bother you. Private phone calls Gibson made were recorded without his knowledge, and then systematically leaked to the media at the exact moment designed to inflict maximum destruction. That level of timing doesn't happen by chance. Someone calculated that launch on purpose.
Work around in tight clothes. I stay at home for most of the time.
Public, and it's an embarrassment to me. You look like a bitch on heat, and if you get by a pack of it'll be your fault. All right?
Oh, wow.
Because you provoked it.
I'll report her to the people that take fucking money from the wetback, okay?
Oh my gosh.
Slap the side of the head. All right?
You just crashed
That's-
out.
And
That's bad. Took a pause on that. He's got a history of wilding.
Oh,
So
man.
let's get this straight here. Mel Gibson, I believe, is still definitely a Christian. This is exhibit A of why Christians need Jesus, because we all do wrong. Now, he has also talked about how his faith has gotten a lot stronger recently. So that was probably one of those times where the alcohol was taking over. Spirits will get on you and cause you to do things that are, well, as we just saw. But no excuses. That was dead wrong, all the way wrong.
Then came Ari Emanuel,
One of the most powerful talent agents in Hollywood published an open letter, not a quiet word behind closed doors, but a public demand for the entire industry to cut Gibson off completely. And everyone listened. Doors slammed shut everywhere, all at once, as if someone flipped a switch. Think about what that really signaled to everyone else watching. This wasn't just a punishment for Gibson. It was a loud warning to every actor, director, and writer in Hollywood. The message was brutal. Step out of line, and we won't just slow your career. We will erase you completely for everyone to see. This is where things stop making sense unless you look at what was happening beneath the surface. If Hollywood truly cared about protecting people, especially children, they would enforce the exact same standard for everyone. But they don't. It's not even close. Comedian Cat Williams has spoken out multiple times about what actually goes on behind the scenes.
Weinstein, like, these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Openly for over 2 decades. Agents knew, executives knew, people around him knew, yet he was still invited to every premiere, handed funding, and celebrated on stage year after year. Then look at Roman Polanski. He fled the country after being convicted of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl, living overseas as a fugitive ever since. Yet Hollywood still awarded him an Oscar, with the entire room standing up to get.
According to Xavier Poussard's earlier reporting, Epstein and Harvey got into some massive fight in Paris one night, and the exact nature of the argument is not known, but it is understood that Epstein wanted to have access to cast women in Harvey Weinstein's films, okay? Young women in the film. So again, presenting himself as some sort of a casting director. Now, regarding Trump, if you connect the dots there, Trump rather famously ran beauty pageants, okay? Pageants, by the way, freak me out in general, the origins of it. I wish I knew less. Started by the Carneys. P.T. Barnum created it in the